So as we're generating out the enemies, we can also generate a random color. So we're going to add in a function that's going to generate that random color. We can just call it random color. And we want to return back a random hex value. So we're returning back. And with hex, we need to do the hash in front of it for the color. And we're going to run several functions. So we need to create these functions that are generate out the value of a random hex value. So creating a function, we can call it function C. We only need it to use it within the random color. And we're going to call to this value. So creating out our hex value using math random. And you'll see that online there's several different ways. And there's actually some shorter ones as well to generate random colors. This one's a little bit easier to explain. So we see that we're generating a random number from 0 to 255. And we know all of those digits. So if we do an RGB color, that it's going to be 0 to 255. And what we want to do is we want to transform this to a string value to a hex value. And the way that we do that is we do toString 16. So that's going to convert our decimal number to a hex number, returning back. And as we know with colors, we get FF, EE, and so on. So those give us that 255, 0 to 255 in a string value. And there's one other thing that we do need to take care of before we return this value, and that's in case we end up with only a 1-digit number. Within our hex value for the colors, we're going to need all 6 characters. So this is to make sure that in case our hex value turns out to be only 1 character, we're going to use a substring value of -2. And you can use this for numbers as well to make sure that you do get, instead of if you go down under 10, you're only going to have 1 digit there. If you want 2 digits, then you can do this as well. So this will always make sure that you're returning back a value of at least 2 characters, 2 digits. So we've got our 0 that we're placing in front of it, and if we need to use it, so 0 plus the string value of hex, which is this one we've generated up here. And if this one is 2 characters, then it's only going to return back the last 2 characters. If it's 1 character, then it's going to still return back the last 2 characters, but we're dropping a 0 in front of it. So now that we've generated a random color, we can update this value to be random colors, and you'll see that now we're generating random colors for those enemy cars. Also, we need to apply that into where we're generating the items as well, so whenever they run off of the page. And this is another one of those optional things. So if it runs off the page, we can generate a random color for it, so assigning a different color value to it. And again, this is another one of those optional things that we don't have to add, but we can add if we want to, of course. Also within the enemy, you can add in value in the inner HTML, and you can set a value of X if you wanted to. So we could do X plus 1, so we know what car number it is. And then going back into here, if we have any text in here, we can make this really big. So we can do font size and set that to be 2EM. And also get rid of that name car as we're generating out our car. We don't need to write car on it, of course. So as we generate this out, we can get rid of this line here that's writing out the inner text for that for our. So you can see now we've got the cars. They're going to have numbers on them. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to have 1 coming back, and so on. So going back, let's also, or we'll do a text align and center text align, and also vertical align. So align it to the middle. So see how that looks. And if we wanted to as well, we could add in a space there, so a line break. So where we've got that inner HTML, because it is HTML, of course. So that will move it down 1. So let's try the game out, and we'll work through any of the final bugs that we have within the game and the application in the upcoming lesson. So that's still to come, as well as we can make them look a little bit more like cars as well within the CSS if we wanted to.